We've got a doozy brewing, folks. This is the Chainlink daily chart. For those of you watching, you're familiar with my little chart here. May 11th or so. This is when this started, got down into this range, and it's been there ever since. I've been talking about a couple things. For those of you new, let me explain real quick. For those of you watching, I've got some new stuff to talk about here. It might be getting pretty exciting. Jump over here to the Bitcoin chart real quick. Okay, these three vertical lines here. This is the Bitcoin daily chart. Three major dumps. There's some other dumps in here as well. The main part is when Bitcoin dumps, Chainlink will likely dump with it. This is where 3 times over here on the Chainlink chart, it's come down from the yellow. It dumps hard. Okay, so we recently had, this is a parallel channel descending, and you can see Bitcoin every time it comes up. Right here, it didn't go all the way to the top, but you can see it bouncing off the top as resistance right here. That's another one. And last video, I left off talking about, hopefully Bitcoin comes down and flattens out, and there it is, just boom, down, flattens out. Because what happens when Bitcoin hits the top of this, it's been dumping hard, as you can see, right? There's like a couple big red fat death wick candles, right? Boom, this is the daily chart. So this little pump here on Bitcoin was the CPI, the consumer price index numbers released were better than expected. So inflation is kind of not on anyone's mind. I don't want to go too far down that road because inflation is inflation, right? They printed 50% of the money that's in circulation in the history of our world, right, in the last few years. So that's inflation. There's nothing anyone can do about that. So, like, this is how it works, right? 1984, I was filling up a 2-gallon moped tank for $2. It was about $1 a gallon gas for the cheap stuff. And, you know, my scooter tank today is only 1.5 gallons. It's not 2 gallons. But if it was 2-gallon tank, I could fill up my 2-gallon tank with cheap stuff right now for about $5. So $2 to $5, and even so, let's just say it's $6. There's been a spike. There's always spikes in gas, but just on average, normal stuff. Let's just say it's $6. So $2. So 3 times, right? This is how inflation works. It's irrelevant. It's fairy dust, right? All these people trying to act so smart with all these numbers and stuff. It's all fairy dust. It's just how people feel about it, right? It's our sentiment, right? Do we have faith in it, right? It's actually a pretty good system as long as we all agree and say, yeah, this is worth something. But and then just take minimum wage, right? Minimum wage back in 1984, where I lived, was I think $4.25, and so now it's like 11 to 15. So 425 times 3. It cost me $2 to fill up a 2-gallon tank with gas. Now it costs me $6 to fill up a 2-gallon tank with gas. So that's triple, right? So minimum wage was $4.25. Let's triple that. $12.75 is what minimum wage should be today. That's how inflation works. It's irrelevant. Everything goes up. It just doesn't all go up at the same time, right? But eventually, you'll be making 20% more money than the next coming year, right? And if you own a business, you raise your prices, and you know what I mean. It's just it's fairy dust. It's literally fairy dust. But this is in the trading, in the money markets. Everything reacts. There's a reaction to every action. So, but anyways, consumer price index, right? Good, favorable stuff right here. Bitcoin pumped. It came close to the top, and I was hoping it wasn't going to dump hard from there. But I was saying, no, it just might just kind of be like baked in. It might be just kind of be meaningless. But Bitcoin's forced to touch. I'll get to the point here in a second. Bitcoin's forced to touch. There's probably a huge pump coming with Chainlink, so bear with me. Bitcoin's going to be forced to hit this eventually, either break out of top. I've always been thinking Bitcoin's probably taking the next leg down from here, and we might be looking at $13,000, $12,000 Bitcoin. But this is probably the first, second week of January. Bitcoin's either going to have to dump or break out, right? Or just keep going sideways, I suppose. This is pretty abnormal action. This low volume sideways for crypto. So we're in the crypto winter starting. Let's get back to the Chainlink here. Oh, I was going to say, S&P 500. As long as the S&P 500 doesn't dump hard, right, and as long as Bitcoin doesn't dump hard, let's go over here to the Chainlink chart again. This is the Chainlink chart. Okay, those 3 vertical lines on Bitcoin dumps off the top of that channel, or close to the top of the channel. are the 3 times right here. You're looking at chainlink coming out of the yellow. Boom, boom, boom. So before every Bitcoin dump for about a week to a week and a half, this first one here was only about 5 days. This is about a week and a half. It pumps up to the yellow. So what I was saying is I hope Bitcoin doesn't pump too hard up out of that channel, because I wanted to give time for, I wanted chainlink to have time to get up and hit the yellow. So super interesting development I want to bring to your attention. This is what this video is about. So if you've been watching my videos, I entered a short position here slightly before the top, and I slowed that down here, and I entered a long here, got out of the long, started re-long and slowly legging back in on these 3 giant red candles. And so right now I'm underwater in my trade, my long, but I'm adding to it right now. And over on Robinhood, I'm buying as well. If you just want to buy and hold for years, now is probably a real good time to buy some chainlink. It could go down to, under 5, under 4, 5, 6 months from now, it could be sitting at, $5, $4.50. If you're okay with that, it's coming back, right? The winter will end eventually, as long as, something stupid doesn't happen. It'd have to be something real stupid for, this crypto to, but anyways, let's not go there. Okay. So here's the exciting part. What I'm going to bring to your attention is, see right here, see this W shape right here. This is what they call a double bottom. Boom. See this? See that right there? Boom. See, this is a double bottom, and these are real nice patterns. Boom. See how it comes down? Boom. Comes up. Boom. Comes down, right, and it bottoms out, support at the same spot. And then boom, this big blast off. Okay, so now let's go over here. Now this is where I wrap it all together. Look at this. Okay, the 3 big lines, 3 big dumps coming from the yellow lines. Let's center this up a little bit for your viewing pleasure. Okay, here we go. Look at this from the top yellow line. And I was talking about, I wanted Bitcoin to come down off that little pump from the CPI, and I wanted it to flatten out and give us another couple of weeks before Bitcoin dumps. So Chainlink has a chance to go back up to the yellow, has time. And before every Bitcoin dump, the big Bitcoin dumps are occurring when Chainlink comes up and touches this yellow. So now this doesn't have to keep holding true, but I just want to bring this to your attention. Look at the size of this double bottom. They look like W's after, looking back at them in the past, they look like W's. Look at the size of this thing. Look at this. Look at this. If this plays out, folks, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Boom. Look at the size of this thing. So the target for this, if it were to play out as a textbook, quote unquote textbook double bottom, the target for this would be up here. Boom. Look at that. Boom. Up to the yellow. Boom. Right. And that's exactly what I was talking about for the last few weeks. Right. So I was getting kind of worried. Right. I'm underwater in my trade. I was getting kind of worried that Chainlink might dump. If Bitcoin dumps, all crypto could dump. Right. And because we are coming into the winter, and it's not out of the question, this could dump down here. Boom. This could dump down into the $4 range. So I'm not saying this is a certainty, and I am calling for crypto to do that eventually in the next 10 months. I am fairly certain, right, that Bitcoin is coming down and probably touching 10,000. And when that happens, Chainlink probably will come down to $4 and $5. Maybe Bitcoin is bottomed out, but that's what I was saying. As long as Bitcoin is strong, S&P 500. As long as the major traditional markets are strong, Bitcoin maybe is kind of at its bottom. It's showing strength for all the terrible news you're hearing, all this negative sentiment. It's actually kind of impressive that it's sticking where it's at, but we'll see. But look at this. This is what I bring to your attention, folks. Look at that. So this would be about a 62% move from where it's at now, say $5.95. This would top. Oh, actually, I actually came up short. The measured move would be up here at this top yellow line at about $9.70. So it'd be about a $4 move. So how do they trade this? How do the textbooks, how does the University of Google search trade this? Let's take a look at a couple images I got here for you. Let's just do this first real quick. So they say when a professional trader would start longing into this would be, there's 3 spots I'm already in, and I'm to be honest, I've already bought more here. Now I could be totally wrong, and this could dump from here, and I could make a bad move, but I'm in here. See this scribble right at the bottom, right the double. It's double like double bottom, right? There's the first bottom, right? And it comes up, and then boom, second bottom. Look at that. It's just looking like it, isn't it? Looking like it. So I'm in here. That's one spot you can do it. That's aggressive. The next spot is when it comes out the top of this. See this yellow triangle. Yellow is only. I don't. There's no more colors that stand out from each other real well. So I've got this descending triangle drawn in here in yellow. So looking at this yellow triangle, see this. The next spot where the professional would do it is if chain link comes out the top of this. If there's a breakout to the top and it comes back down and tests, right, and then that's when it moves. So the professionals would do it there, right, when it breaks out the top. Let's just say when it breaks out the top of this, right, usually it'll come down and retest it and then be on its merry way. And that's when they'll do it, right, when it comes back down for the retest. That's when they'll do it. Now they'll put in a stop loss, right, in case they're wrong. They'll put like a stop loss order in here. If it's a major breakdown, they'll get out for just lose a few percent on a trade, right? So they'll put a stop loss here, right? If they're longing. So that's a safe way to do it. That's how professionals do it. And then there's a third spot where they say to do it as well, and that would be you take where this middle peaked out, right? And when this comes all the way up here, and it gets a little bit above here, just a little bit above this peak here, boom, that's when they'll enter along, and then they're playing this movement here, boom, right? So like I say, I'm already in, and I'll probably put some more in down here. Now this is just money that I can afford to lose. I'm not going to be happy if I do lose the trade, but that's what you just don't do anything stupid, right? Because there's no guarantees. So this descending, if you just look at the descending triangle in yellow, it's about 54% certain to break down. These descending triangles are actually bearish. This isn't the greatest triangle because it doesn't really come down and test the support a third time, but it's come down twice. I don't really like the triangle a whole lot here, but it's bearish, right? These descending triangles, 54% of the time they say they'll bust down, 46% of the time they'll bust up. That's just on a triangle. But what I'm looking at here is this fits right into my earlier, what I've been saying since late November when I first made this chart. Let's reset this chart. When I first made this chart, right? So Bitcoin has been dumping, but Chainlink is not in a descending channel like Bitcoin. See, this is just a range, right? It's just going basically perfectly sideways. So this fits in really well. Where that's why hopefully I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's lining up good, right? Where would the 10 days, week to 2 weeks be, right? That would be just enough time for what Chainlink has been doing here with these 3 pumps to the yellow, right? That's just enough time, and it fits right in on the Bitcoin chart, right? Let's reset this. It's all coming together. Now it could just totally I was gonna say fart in my face, but can I say that? That's just this kind of image I got, right? I could walk through a nasty fart someone left at the grocery store aisle, right? That could be what happens because it doesn't have to come to the top. Bitcoin could just dump. This is December 23rd, so Christmas is here, and I don't see any reason. It'd probably take real bad news of some sort for Bitcoin to dump now. But if it's fitting in, right? Look at that. It's fitting in. January 10th, if it was at the same price it is today, that's when it would be forced to do something on this Bitcoin chart I have here, right? That's basically 2.5 weeks. Now, it could be before that. It could be tomorrow, but this is Christmas, and I've been watching the traditional markets, and as long as this S&P 500 is not looking bad, as long as there's no dump, they're talking. I don't know. Who knows for sure? they're talking maybe if a dump starts in the traditional markets, it's going to be in the early January, not really during Christmas. But it's just all fitting in, right? It's just all fitting in. It appears to me it looks like Bitcoin's got some time to come up here and bump its head and then dump. And it's just fitting in. It just strikes me as to what I've been saying in this chart of mine here. It just strikes me as it could just play out. Maybe it won't. But there it is, folks. There it is. Let's put this back on the big chart. There it is, right? Let's scrunch it down so we can see what's going on here. Low volume, super low volume. That's bizarre. It almost makes me think maybe this volume isn't being maybe the data's wrong. That's super low. That's super low stuff, man. You can barely even see it, right? So that's just strange. But that would lend itself to if a little selling comes in, it could pump hard, right? Or if a little bit of buying comes in, if a little bit of buying comes in, it could pump hard. If a little bit of selling comes in, it could dump. So, but I like the W, man. I like that W a lot. Look at that, boom, 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 boom. So I think I said what I need to say. Also, if you really want to look at this, let's talk a little more. Using the yellow lines, there's actually kind of you can almost say there's a W here, right? Using that little W and just make it bigger. I don't like that a whole lot, but I'm looking at it. Right, there's kind of one here from the yellow. Whoops, I went too high with that. See that? Kind of on here. Kind of on here. The yellow to yellow. See that? It's not great. Let's center this up a little. There we go. Not great. The more you scrunch it, the more you can see it. See that though? There's almost already two big W's from the yellow. This would be the third one, and this chart's just kind of been repeating itself. So that's what I want to say, folks. Let's measure it. Let's measure it. So from here, if it pumped to the yellow, the measured move would be about 63%, 64%. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I'll just show a couple charts for some people. I just like, I just think all learning for people that haven't been exposed to this in their life is good. I've really learned a lot. I think this is kind of fascinating stuff, especially when you think it's all just fairy dust, right? It's literally fairy dust, right? All of this it's basically the world economy is just a Ponzi scheme, right? People buy our debt, and we just print more money to pay them off. It's the definition of a Ponzi scheme. But as long as everyone believes in it, it actually works pretty good, right? It's not really a Ponzi scheme because there's no people losing their money. That's the one missing element, right? But at the same time, it could get out of hand. And Ponzi schemes break down because people stop believing in it, right? So, so it is a Ponzi scheme, right? But as long as we believe in this Ponzi scheme and no one's getting totally ravaged, then it actually works pretty good. But it'll come to an end at some point. It almost has to. But okay, this is the triangle here we're in right now, and these are bearish, right? That yellow triangle I have here. The yellow one I have on my graph isn't good because it hasn't come down the bottom a whole lot or the top a whole lot. So I don't really like it on my chart, but that's what it is, right? It's a descending triangle, and they are bearish. They tend to break down more often. But I just want to show some of these real quick. What do we got here? Let's go. How they trade them, right? This is how they trade them. Or this is kind of what we're looking at here. This is not a double bottom. Well, it is kind of a double bottom. Kind of. It's not that great. But the descending triangles, they like to say they break down, but that's not really what we're looking at on my chart. I'm more looking at the last 8, 9, 10 months of behavior in chainlink. Here's a descending triangle where someone has wrote, "Whoa, it flew up." On this is how you would trade it. See the target, the blue here at the back, the triangle where it starts. When it breaks out, boom. That's the target, right? So it actually went way above their target there. But let's see, two more little things here. Here's what I think kind of where we're at. Boom, right. We come down, we've dropped down into it. It's the W. See the W there? Double bottom, double bottom. So this is what I was saying. This is how they do it. It's at the very bottom, professional trader would put the stop loss. See this? In case it is a breakdown, like I'm worrying, like if the S&P 500 and Bitcoin tank, Chainlink's going to tank with it hard. So they'd put a stop loss here. See, boom. So they just lose a little bit of money. See how it's working? And then this is where they enter. This is what I was talking about. If it breaks off the top of that yellow triangle, boom. So this is actually not really for a double bottom. They're showing kind of a more of a descending triangle play here. Not really a double bottom. But this one is actually a double bottom. They're just not labeling it that. But anyways, it's big. See, it breaks out the top, comes back, retests right there. The little doji, thin doji guy. And then that's when they enter. The next candle, boom, they enter. They take profit. Looks like they're taking profit there in between the top, right? That's when I said they'd enter. You know, if you're obviously, or if you're in here, you can take profit here. But some people just enter here. See at the red line, top of the peak in the middle, boom, and then they'll take profit up here. The measured move, right? The distance between the support and the peak and the W, little part that's peaking at the inside of the W. That's the measured move from the top. Boom. See? I don't expect Chainlink to go because we're in the crypto winter. I think see where this green take profits at. That's probably the peak up in the yellow bands, and boom, it's probably dumping hard from there. So, okay, here's one more. I like this one. This one's pretty good. You can see it. Boom. See the W. Boom, 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 boom. So if this was the Chainlink chart, I think probably right about here is the yellow bands, and then with Chainlink in the crypto winter, boom, it's probably coming back down to here, right? Instead of going up from there or sideways. But okay, let's get that out of there. Oh, this video got a lot longer than I wanted it to. But anyways, folks, that's it in a nutshell. You can see it right there. What makes me happy is it fits in. It just fits. It's almost fitting in too perfect for me. Like something's got to go wrong. But I'm adding to my position right now. And that's it, man. I'm out of here. Enjoy the holidays. Later. Thanks for watching.